everyone, I'm Keith Mathis. Today's video is entitled Tips to Teaching in a Virtual or Online Environment. Now, many people today have been forced to move to a virtual or online environment, and some people have not had training how to make that adjustment. It's not hard, but there are some specific steps one needs to take in order to be able to adjust and to be able to do it with the same type of proficiency that you did it with a face-to-face type of encounter. All right, so a little bit of background. I've been doing this for a long time. I teach face-to-face seminars all over the country. I do virtual seminars, multi-day seminars. I began teaching online in 2000, and so I teach for Liberty, DeVry, and Indiana Wesleyan right now, and I'm part of the doctoral program, so I'm a doctoral chair with DBA students. Now, when we talk about online, I am a personality type of presenter. I teach face-to-face. I love having the interaction with the students. Maybe you're like me, and that's something you enjoy. Teaching in a virtual or online setting is a little different. You can have some of that, but it is different than what we have when we're standing face-to-face in front of somebody in the same room. All right, so what does it mean to teach in a virtual environment? Well, when we teach in a virtual environment, first off, you need to understand two terms. One is online can be synchronous, meaning at the same time, or asynchronous, you do it when you desire. And so when we look at synchronous or asynchronous, both have goals, both have objectives, both of them enjoy the whole course content, but both are totally different in how they're communicated to the student. So let's talk about asynchronous. Asynchronous means that we have created videos and coursework and material for people to be able to view. They can view it anytime they want, and then they do not have, though, the access to the professor or the instructor or the teacher instantly. So this means that they will send an email to the teacher, and the teacher will respond by email. Nothing wrong with this. We have full-blown course programs, MBA programs, doctoral programs that are asynchronous, and it's done that way so that people have the flexibility to go to school anytime, anywhere, all through the day. Now, when we talk about virtual environment, we're talking about synchronous. We're talking about live instructor-led virtual instructor. So that means it's going to be synchronous. You're standing there, you're going to have a video. They're online, they're going to have a video, you're talking with them, they're asking a question in real time, you're responding in real time. So that's what we're talking about when we talk about virtual instructor-led environments. So live instructor-led virtual means an instructor or teacher is teaching through a computer. Live means that the instructor-led virtual, the instructor can see the students if they choose to turn on the video, but they're definitely seeing you, and they're hearing you, and they're hearing you live, just like they would in a traditional classroom. So why should people teach in a virtual environment? Well, first off, it's very motivating for people and for participants to be in that because they can take a course and live anywhere in the world to do this. It can allow for instant feedback as compared to asynchronous type of learning, which waits on an email to be returned or something like that, or for a phone call to be returned. And it guarantees that the students have at least been exposed to the material, just like when you're in a face-to-face teaching environment. Also, it can be adjusted to include individualized learning for someone who's having some problems. It allows a course to be taken from anywhere in the world, and it allows the course to be anywhere from a few hours to multiple days. In our case, we will do a 1-hour webinar every month for all of our clients and also our LinkedIn groups. We also do multi-day virtual instructor-led seminars. We will do it to prepare people for the PMP, as well as teaching project management courses that are multiple days. And so you'll have me live, just like I look like here on the screen, and I'm interacting with people. And on your side, you can turn your video on, and you can communicate with me and to the rest of the class, and we can put you into groups. And so all of those type of things can happen in a virtual environment. Now, what are the disadvantages, though, of teaching? Well, the first is going to be technology issues. Now, on your side, you need to minimize those technology issues by working and testing all of your equipment out prior to getting online with other people. But technology issues are going to be there. Now, here's the sad thing. Sometimes the technology issue, or many times, it's on the participant side or the student side, but they assume it's on your side. And you find yourself having to coach them to kind of work it out and get it worked out. The second thing is people could come to the class and be unprepared with any pre-work. They didn't do the reading, they didn't do the study, but that's true even in face-to-face, and we struggle with that. There could be limited interaction with the student in a virtual environment. Now, here's the way to overcome that. As an instructor, you're going to ask questions and you're going to engage the students just like you would in a face-to-face class. So if there's a lack of interaction with the students, that's going to be on us, the instructor, for not engaging the people. Also, each person must be self-disciplined. We're expecting the students to do their part. The participants have to read, study, interact, share. When we put them into a group to do a case study, we're expecting them to turn their microphone on and their video on and interact in a group. And so I'll talk about some software that will help you with that. Also, limited feedback or interaction from the instructor. If an instructor is an introvert, it could be that they show all the PowerPoint slides, they put everybody in the groups, but they don't really build the rapport with the students. The purpose for a virtual instructor-led environment is so you can build the same type of rapport with those students and those participants that you would face-to-face. And that's why you're wanting to use something like this. All right, so what about material or curriculum in a virtual environment? Well, first off, it can be digital. You can take almost any of your curriculum and turn it into a PDF, something as simple as a PDF, and email it out to everyone. But it could be hard copy. We have courses to where people have the full 3-ring binder notebook, and so they've got it just like they would if they were face-to-face. We ship the books out to them, and so they've got hard copies. You can have case studies in your virtual environments, and we'll talk about some software that will help you. It can be an open environment to where you allow people to go out to the web and research and bring stuff in. That's always very exciting to watch what people bring back. It can include tests, self-assessments, polls. Any of those things that you want to include in a face-to-face setting, you can just about include in a virtual setting. So what is the impact in a virtual environment? Well, first off, instructors are going to use video and audio aids. And so if you want to show part of a video or show a scenario from a video, you can do all of that with virtual. It's just a matter of getting comfortable with being able to cue it up and get it on and make sure you make your transition between your PowerPoint slides and then your video controls, and then being able to come back. Also, you're going to interact with participants to engage them just like in a face-to-face. You're going to use feedback tools. Like I said before, assessments, polls, surveys, raising the hand, all of those techniques are in virtual instructor-led teaching. You're going to create scenarios or problems to solve just like you would in the classroom, and you're going to be able to put them into groups if you purchase the right type of software. Now, I don't work for a software company. I don't work for a service for any of this. I'm just saying, depending on what you're wanting to do, you can pretty much do that in this type of environment. And all sessions can then be videotaped for future viewing by the students and participants for the people who missed that day, or you can actually post them to your website and be able to sell them as an additional product later if you choose to do that. Okay, so let's talk about some of the tools in a virtual environment that you need. First off, almost everybody has this, but you need the camera on your laptop. Your camera is going to be high depth, and so that's good. That's good. The cameras are normally not your problem. But the other piece that you might want to invest in is a microphone. Now, your microphone on your laptop is fine if we're just doing a conference call and we're just talking. But if you are going to be cutting a video, if you're going to be, if people are going to be listening to this, that you don't want something to where they're straining to hear you. You want something that's going to be a hot mic for them to be able to hear this. Now, like right now, while I'm speaking with you, I have an external microphone hooked up to this that I paid probably $50 for. And that's so that you get a good, strong voice coming in that virtual environment. And so you want to make sure of that. So you test your laptop out and see. And so if not, then you look for a microphone or something to be able to work with that, but test that. So a camera, a microphone, your PowerPoint. Most people have PowerPoint. PowerPoint delivers the main message, and so you use that, and then you're able to switch from PowerPoint over to a video or over to a whiteboard or whatever the case may be. Third is going to be a whiteboard. Most of your services allow you to do this. A whiteboard is like what you would do on writing on the whiteboard in a classroom. And so you would actually punch a button, move out of PowerPoint, move into a whiteboard. And so a clean board comes up. And in most of our laptops, if you have the on-screen capabilities to write with your finger, you can basically just take your finger and write on the whiteboard and do a piece of the lecture. And the people in a virtual setting are seeing you do this as you explain it. And of course, they're still seeing you through the video. Breakout rooms, not all services have this, but there are some that have this. This is very economical to be able to add. And so if you like that, then that means that if I've got 20 people, I could turn it into 4 groups, have them talk about a case, and then come back and each group would talk about what they saw, just like you would do in a classroom. Webinars, many organizations love webinars because it allows you to give concentrated information in a short period of time, in a 1 hour time period. And then web conferencing services. Do we have the capability to interact with the people at other times? And how easy is it to get into the web conference? So these are tools that you're going to use. These are tools that you would use regardless of what service you purchased. Now let's talk about some of the services, and this by no way is all of the services, but these are some of the most common services that seem to be brought up. The number one that I would talk about is Zoom, and this is the one I use. Zoom is not real expensive, first off, so price is there. The service has been great with these people, and they allow so many different pieces to this that it allows you to be able to do a lot on a budget. And so with Zoom, you can have your breakout rooms, and I can have up to 100 people in my meetings for a very low price. Some of the others want to charge you per person. Some of the others want to put 25 in for the same amount of money. It depends on what you're trying to do, but look and see how many people can I have in the meeting and what is my price tag. Zoom is the one I use. Zoom has become very popular with all the kids having to go online because of all the virus and all of the things out. WebEx is very popular as well. Many of the universities use WebEx. I use it with one of our universities. It's a good program as well. It does have breakout rooms, but it is an extra package that you have to buy for that. And so some of our clients who use WebEx do not buy the breakout rooms, which means you're always in the same room. So you don't have the same connections to be able to put them into breakout rooms and then talk about it. Adobe Connect. It's a good package as well. It does allow for breakout rooms. It was a little clumsier to use than Zoom is. And so, but Adobe Connect is a very powerful tool for you to be able to use and does have breakout rooms. Some of these others might have some of these services, but I don't know as much. GoToMeeting is a great tool, but I don't know if it has breakout rooms. ReadyTalk. ClickMeeting, I used ClickMeeting for years. It did not have breakout rooms. That was one of the things I did not like about it. Skype is a great tool as well. I do not know whether it has breakout rooms or not. And then Zoho. And of course, the list goes on and on. But this is just to show you that in a virtual environment, you've got tons of services out here. Look at your price and look at what you're wanting to do. Do you want meetings and webinars for one price? How many people do you think you want on? Are they going to charge you for so many people every month? So you look at the pricing and the services, but the point is I wanted to expose you to some of these so you've got options. Now, software or services for a virtual environment. Several things you're going to look at to determine which one of these services to use. First off, look at service. What kind of services do they have that I'm going to use and want? And try those out. Look and see, do they give you so many hours? Do they give you so many days to be able to use that and test it without being charged? What is the price? The price per month, the price per person? Can I go up to the next level? Can I come back down? Am I signing a contract? I do not sign a contract for these type of services because they're evolving so fast. You might want to change within a few months or within a year, and you might have so many people attending that you want to go to something cheaper that's going to give you more bang for the buck. So I won't sign a long-term contract. Branding. Do I have the capability of putting my brand into these web services on my screen and different things? And at what level do I have to get to be able to use branding? Flexibility. Can I do this 24/7? Can I go to a meeting and get that meeting set up in a matter of just a couple of minutes, or is it going to take me 20 minutes to get this thing set up? Breakout rooms. If you don't think you need breakout rooms, then don't worry about it. But if you're doing training, you're probably wanting to do some breakout rooms. And how many breakout rooms will they allow me to have? Number of people I can put in at one time. Zoom, I can put in 100 people and I can go up from there. You can put in hundreds and hundreds or thousands of people into different things, into different categories. But to be able to do a training session and know I can put 100 people in there for my monthly fee, I like that. That's one of the levels that I really like. And then customer service and help. If things go south and while you're working on this, do you have somebody that you can call and they're going to be working to try to get you back online? All right, so as I close with this was not to give you the most exhausted type of training in virtual courses or creating virtual courses, but it was really just to give you and hit some highlights and some tips to encourage you that you can make this transition. And even though you maybe feel like you haven't been trained and it's been dumped in your lap and all on and on and on, you know what? It is what it is where we are right now, and you can do this too. You can make the change from face-to-face to virtual instructor-led training and teaching for your students. And so I hope this helped you, and I hope it gave you some encouragement. You can do this. All you got to do is practice it and work with it and try it out before you get your students on board, and you will look like a pro. God bless you, and I wish you well as you create your next virtual class. Bye now.